well. How are you today? I hope everybody's well. It's a very hot Sunday here in Gambia. I'm in the lovely Gambia on the west coast of Africa. And this is where I live. Welcome to Blaxit. If you don't know me and you're new, welcome. I'm Nyancho Kajabi and I'll be your host, aka Juliet. I'm also the CEO and founder of Blaxit. And Blaxit is all about the exits of us, us black people. If you're black, you're an African, making our exit from the West back to the best, and that is Africa. Sorry, I'm just adorning my hair. Right, ready. Thank you for joining. Who's with us? Fathia. Hi, Fathia. How are you? Welcome to Blaxit. Thank you for joining Blaxit. Blaxit, you are already a Blaxit family member, Fathia. So welcome to you. I hope you can see and hear me. I haven't put the microphone in, so if you've got a bit of echo, that's the reason why. I'm just setting myself up. I'm sorry for being a bit late today. Time went before I even realized it. But I hope you're all well. I hope you're all wonderful. And thank you so much for joining us today. Sorry, I'm just tipping this because I need to put the microphone in. And that's it. Hang on, you might not have sound for a sec. Okay, let me know if you can hear me properly, please. Let me know if you can hear me properly. Oops, and see me. Lights okay, everything okay. Okay, Maxwell. Oh, still it's a bit tilty. Don't know why it's like this today. It just seems sort of off kilter. I feel like I'm sideways. 1 minute. Just trying to adjust it. Or is it my eyes? I don't know. Maxwell. Is that Maxwell? Okay, so Maxwell E. Banks. Good morning, my Jamaican queen. Oh, thank you so much, Maxwell. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate you so much. Now, if you see I'm a bit sweaty today, it's because it is incredibly hot. It was so hot yesterday that I literally had to tiptoe on the sand, so I'm sweating from every orifice because it's very hot today. But yes, thank you so much for joining Blaxit. Blaxit is all about your exit from the West back to the best, and of course that is Africa. This is the motherland. I am in Gambia. Gambia is the country that I chose to repatriate to. Gambia is the country that I've been living in permanently since 2019. I first came to Gambia in 2011, and you'll also see that this channel, Blaxit, this channel was also started in April 2011. So thank you for all of our A1 day ones that have been with us from day one. Also thank you as well and always to Rhoda Maya for being such an incredible inspiration to Blaxit and for being there for Blaxit, especially at the inception. And I can see that he is now just doing amazingly well, and I'm very, very proud of him. So if you have come from Odemaya, thank you and welcome for joining Blaxit. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so by pressing the bell icon, and that will also give you updates so you know that when we're going live or when we are putting out content. So please join us. I'd like to welcome and thank today's moderator, who is Caffrey. I'd just like to do a little bit of housekeeping before we go into the live. If you've never been on a Blaxit live before, welcome to Blaxit. Thank you for joining. I forgot to put my phone on DND. Do you know, when I do that, then I forget it for the whole week, and I wonder why I'm not getting calls. So that's why I stopped doing it, but I might have to do that in a second if I get any further calls. So anyway, I'd like to thank you and welcome you to the channel. If it wasn't for you, of course, you are part of the Blaxit journey. You are part of the reason why we are here, the raison d'etre for us being here, which is all about turning the tables. It's all about our repatriation. It is also about our reparations, and we must never forget about our reparations. I do think that we are currently being very apathetic about it, and it's something that definitely needs to change. We need to be disobedient, we need to disobey, and we need to create some kind of disobedience in order to get what we want in terms of reparations. And that is very, very important to us as a people and as us as a global African nation. Okay? So I'm going to keep saying hello to everybody. You can see me. Thank you, Fathia. I'd like to say hello to Alicine as well. Marvelous Kamara. How are you? Thank you for joining us today. Alicine says, you hear me loud and clear. Thank you, Alicine. And welcome to Blaxit, Alicine. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the journey back to Africa. This is all about our return back to our motherland. Our ancestors were forcibly removed. As we know, they were kidnapped in a genocide that lasted hundreds of years, in which we lost sight of our ancestry, we lost sight of our language, we lost sight of our culture, we lost sight of our heritage, and we lost sight of ourselves as Africans in many places, and were forced to adopt a false identity which wasn't ours, and false languages, etc., 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 all by force. Okay, so I want us to readdress that by coming back, and we are repatriational specialists, and we help you to make that all-important journey back to Africa. Very, very important. I've been calling for repatriation and also for reparations for many years, longer than you've seen me on this channel. I've been doing it since I was a young child, and I have not stopped, okay? And I will not stop, because it is high time for them to pay the price for what they've done to Africa. It is high time for Africa to control its resources. It's high time for Africa to get back what was taken from Africa, including not just its human resource, but also the land resource, also all of the wonderful and irreplaceable artifacts and things that were taken out of Africa by force without permission, stolen and taken. Very, very important. And today I'm going to talk to you about the Jacobite people that took claim to land in Scotland. The Kabbalah. Kabbalah is actually a place in Sierra Leone. I just hasten to add. And the person and the people that were there, one was Ghanaian, one was from Zimbabwe, and one was from the States. I don't know if you followed it. I did post it on my community page. There was a big hoorah, and I don't really want to go into the hoorah, but what I want to go into is the double standards and hypocrisy and racism, out and out racism, that made this story even a story, that shows the hypocrisy of what they have done across Africa. And I'm glad that he occupied a piece of Scotland. I am so glad, because it shows you that when it comes to their land, they're not prepared to give nothing to us. They're not prepared. All they're going to do is try and destroy us, destroy our credibility, destroy our names, destroy our reputation, because that is what they did. I was absolutely disgusted by the media coverage. I don't know if you saw it. Let me know. Glove 100. Tell me, did you see the coverage of the three people that decided to occupy some land in Scotland under the Kabbalah Kingdom? Did you see it? Yeah, I hope I've got the name correctly. I didn't actually write it in my notes, but I just remembering from memory. So Humble Eve, how are you? Sorry, Humble Bee. I like that. Humble Bee, Bumblebee. How are you? You're a legend. Oh, you're so lovely. Thank you so much. We have to keep fighting, okay? We have to keep fighting for our rights, because they are our rights, okay? And these colonizers have no rights to do what they're doing in Africa by the same rights as what they've just done by evicting these Jacobins off of their land. Now, Jacobites, I say Jacobins, you see? Jacobins is a game, and that was a slip, because they're actually Jacobites. And now Jacobites, if you know the history of the Jacobite people opposed the line of who they said was the royal line of the Stuarts. So they defended the Stuarts. I'm not really big into British history as such, But there was a time when the royal line split into the Germanic line, and the Jacobites said, no, this is not right. And if you remember rightly, also, they also stated that some of the royalty in Africa actually came from African origins as well. So I think that was part of their claim. Okay, that was part of their claim. So Maxwell said, thanks. I remember you first with Voter Maya. Thank you so much. And Piet Alomi, I hope I've said that right, Piet Alomi. Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining Blaxit. Jonathan as well. Janaya, is that? Hang on, wait, am I getting the names right? Jonan, sorry. Jonan Johnson. Oh, Jonan Johnson. Something is stuck in your hair. It's you. There you are, Jonan. I'll call this one Jonan. Yeah, I hope you know what a cowrie shell is, or else you're not on the right channel. Okay, so let's go. I'm cool. Thank you so much for asking, Jonan. That was quite funny. Free Scotland. Here we go. So anyway, so basically, this group have decided to do it. Now, what I actually think is that it was a deflection to show the absolute hypocrisy and double standards. So if you haven't seen it, I have put it on the community page. Sorry, here. Community page. And it was extensively on the news in the UK. I don't know if it went international. But a group called the Kalani tribe, and Kalani is actually a place in Sierra Leone, decided to occupy some land and saying that this was their kingdom. This is in the UK, in Scottish Highlands. Now, the fact is that you can actually buy land so cheaply in Scottish Highlands. I actually have a piece myself, and I'm actually a lady of the land. So my name would be Lady Ryan if I was to use it, and I bought it. I bought it online, and you can actually go online and you can buy yourself a Scottish title, and you can also buy land. And that's what I did. It was actually part of a gift that I did at the time when I was married for my then husband. So so we would be Lord and Lady of the land. I thought it was quite a nice gift. So I bought a piece of land in Scotland, and I also took the title from that land. So it was like Lady of Glen, blah, 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 I can't remember, yeah? But it was something that I did for comedy, and it's something that you can also do. And if you'd like to do it, you can actually go online and research it. And if I find information, then I'll put it on the community page so you can actually go and do it yourself. So they could have actually bought a piece of land and done this, but I actually like what they did because it was a statement. It was a public statement, which shows that they can come to Africa, colonize nearly the whole of Africa, nearly 54 countries, bar two, yeah? And the other ones which they took over as, let's say, administrational occupation, okay? They have done this for hundreds and hundreds of years. Yet three people occupy a piece of empty forest land, and they make a whole big, like, ongoing news story, and it was made out of racism. Okay, it's made so they say, let's send a message out to all of those blacks, all of those Africans. They don't think that they can come and take over our country, because it can only be one way. It's only that they can come over and they can colonize our countries. They can take our resources and they can do whatever they want in our countries. But should we try to do the same thing back, we are met with the courts, we are met with eviction, we are met with the police. Now, if you saw how many police came there, it was unbelievable. You would think that they were coming to take over an army, not just two women and a man. And then they started this whole thing about this young teenager who'd gone to join them, saying that she was brainwashed into a program to go and do it because she said that she was their handmaiden. Now, and then they went all the way to America to interview the mum, who, you know, has now said, oh, you know, we want you back home. When she was leaving, though, they didn't want her. But now their daughter is famous as an African handmaiden. You know, they're calling for her to come back, saying that she was brainwashed. Now, wasn't you the people that evicted her in the first place? So, you know, it's just like they will do anything. They went and they dug up their history. Absolutely everything. I have never seen such an assault, immediate assault on people and their personal information, on trying to discredit them, you know, and they have been doing this assault on anybody that's telling you to come to Africa or telling you to take your rights back or to fight for reparations. What they do is they start a disinformation campaign. They start a character assassination campaign. They did the same thing to me. It's been done to me several times. You know, one idiot, one absolute buffoon, and I've got to say this because you have to be incredibly stupid to make 52 programs about absolute lies. Okay, you have to be absolutely insane to do that. Did that on me, and I was just like, well, thanks for making me more famous than I've ever been. You know, I even had American vloggers doing programs about me and giving me like nearly 1 million views about what? About facts which they tried to prove were wrong, which have actually historically proven to be right. It's just stupid. It's just abhorrently stupid. And the thing is, they're just showing their lack of intellect and their lack of wisdom. Is absolutely pathetic. And this whole media attack on these few people who occupied a piece of forest in Scotland was the most absolutely stupid and unintelligent, unprofessional and personal racist attack. It was like fascism, live and direct. It was so racist, so overtly racist that now you remember exactly who they are. Okay? So if you ever forgot the nature of these people who say that, oh, they're not racist anymore, you think again. Just watch how they treated and how they questioned. I mean, Queen Nadie, she said, you address me as Queen Nadie, yeah? She said that they would never have done that to a white person. They would never, ever, ever have done that to a white person. They kept asking her, is this woman here by duress? And they, you know, or those words to that effect. And they kept asking her repeatedly, and she said, unless you address me as queen, I will not answer your questions. Unless you address me, and I have more power for them, more power to Queen Nadie and King Kalambai of the... Sorry, I'm just saying. Like, the whole thing is just nonsensical. It just, like, it tickles me so much because I have never seen such a piece of journalistic nonsense. Absolute journalistic nonsense if they got nothing better to do with their time. I mean, this is Sky. This is like all of these big platforms following around these people for an eviction. They don't do that to people that have overstayed in their council houses. Do they? No, they don't. They don't do that to people that have overstayed in empty royal houses, have they? No, they don't. Have they done that to people that are squatting in empty properties? No, they don't. But they will do it to black people. Absolutely. Because the name is the game of the name. The name of the game is the name and shame. And that's exactly what they did. So if you're not aware, please do go and look at the African kingdom, which they founded in the Scottish Highlands, where they were taking back their land. They said that this is their land historically and that they were Jacobites. Okay? There was no query into the legitimateness of their claims, except for to try and say that they were fraudulent and how many properties they owned. I tell you, there should be a complaint made against these reporters for what they have done. It was the most disgusting, most abhorrent, most racist, most targeted, most absolutely unacceptable piece of journalism that I have seen, targeted in a form of information which was really just a dissemination of total discrimination and hatred in its purest form. I have never seen anything like it. If you don't believe me, go and look at it, okay? And so I wanted to talk about that. But firstly, let me also say that last week we talked a lot about transfer of money, and also we talked about the banks, which was very important. And I was explaining to you, it's high time for us to take our money out of these institutions. I talked about the 86 million people who had their bank accounts deactivated in Vietnam last week, okay? And I was talking about it. So I want to talk about an alternative way in which you can transfer money here. And you know, the weirdest thing, yeah, I swear our ancestors are not sleeping. Our ancestors are not sleeping, okay? I'm telling you this now, okay? Our divine is not sleeping, yeah? Because this week I got a phone call, and and at first I was like, is this for real? The phone call said to me, hi, Juliet, you have won a prize draw. I was like, I have? Thank you so much. But, you know, I was a little bit, you know, apprehensive. And then she said APS. And I thought, oh, I know APS because, of course, I've done a program about APS. APS is Approved Money Services. And APS is a Gambian company, which I've covered and talked about quite extensively with regard to their services. And I used APS when I was in England, okay, to transfer money to the Gambia, and it's a Gambian-owned company. I think it was founded in 2011 by a man called Lamin Sane, and the CEO here, I think, was it MD here, is Lamin Sanyang, I think. I hope I got his name right. Anyway, if I did get it wrong, I do apologize. So they said they awarded me this prize. I was like, wow, I got a prize. This is amazing. And so I was very grateful for it, as I am. Let me say hello to Wayne. Is that Wayne, Mark, and Godfrey? Camille, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you very much for the hearts. I would appreciate a few more thumbs up. Thank you so much. And Stephanie, Yankee, how are you? Stephanie Yankee's watching live from Birmingham in England. Lovely. So Stephanie, did you see what I'm talking about? Did you see the story that I was talking about with the three individuals that occupy the land in Scotland? Did you see it? Can you write your thoughts to me, please, in the comments, please, Stephanie? Jeffrey, if you saw it. Wayne, if you saw it. Fatis, if you saw it. John Ryan Walker, if you saw it. So sorry, John Ryan the Walker. Okay. You have the same surname as I did when I was married. That's interesting. KF5 as well. Thank you so much. Luxon as well says hi. Thank you so much. And Maxwell says, I'm happy there's a new wind blowing over Africa now. Soon we'll all be together as one. Oh, how wonderful. So Maxwell, do you know what I'm talking about? I did put it in the community page, and maybe I might see if I can do something just trying to highlight the racism. Oh, sorry. I want to pin your comment. Happy Sunday. May God bless you and your family. Thank you. Who's that? God 36. So is that, oh, God 365 non-stop. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. So because the writing's so small, you know. Anyway, so Stefan Yankee, did you see what I'm talking about? Please write in the comments if you did see what I'm talking about, and the news coverage that they gave to these three people that decided to occupy some land. I'm sorry, but this was completely and totally not a news story in my view. And secondly, they did it because they're trying to highlight how unwelcome you are okay, to occupy even a piece of land. And they threw the law behind them. Believe you me, there's probably been people waiting for a long time for their cases, but they seem to fast track their case. I've never seen anything like it. Hi, Willie Rivers. So it shows you that when they want to be expedient with the law, they absolutely can. And it shows you that there was a racist agenda behind it the whole time. Yeah, sorry, sister, I didn't see it and I didn't even hear about it. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, basically, there were three people, like I said, who decided to say they were found in an African kingdom in the Scottish Highlands, and they were the ancestors of the Jacobites. And the media let rip. The media let rip on them. I'm telling you, it was racist. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because of the absolute hypocrisy. The hypocrisy of 400 years of colonization, you know, or if you want to say 300 years, it's up to you. Yeah, but I say 400 years because I include colonization up to today. Of African nations where they have carved up and taken Africa as their own, and African resources, and of course African people during the transatlantic slavery, and it was more than transatlantic, so I think I will expand that to say slavery, global slavery, okay? And the fact that they did this, and just look at South Africa, even today, where territories are still taken where they want to say they're all white territories. Absolute hypocrisy. Did you see or hear about it? Anybody else? Yeah. But it's serious, and the reason why I'm talking about it is because I meant to talk about it at the time, and because we got talking on other subject matters, I didn't get to talk about it. I also want to talk about the World Economic Forum as well, and some plans that they have to make these energy performance changes to people's houses and to charge them to make these changes, so-called green changes, in which they're going to overprice the changes that you have to have made to your house. And if you don't make it, you could lose your home. So for all those people that are saying, no, I want to stay in Europe, I want to stay here and there, I'm just telling you that they have an agenda to take and to dispossess you of your home. Okay, and it's a long-term agenda, and it is in their agenda 2030. Okay, and if you remember rightly, they did say that they don't want anybody to own their own home. They want everybody to rent. So this is where they want to dispossess you of your home. It's something that's very serious, something I want you to look into. You can go and look on the World Economic Forum. You can go and see their energy performance agenda, and you can see it for yourself. I'm not just talking. So for those of you, especially those of you that are landlords, those of you which own your own homes, yeah, whether you're in Europe or whether you're in the UK, it makes no difference. It's part of a global agenda, okay, to dispossess you of your homes. They're going to also start making a lot of claims on people that have got rental properties, things that they have to do, which are going to be almost unaffordable for you to do, okay? So in which case, if you don't do it, then, you know, you are not in line with what they say. And that's why I said we need some serious disobedience, okay? These things have to stop happening without acquiescence. These things have to stop being passed with us agreeing to it. It's time for us as a global people to come together and say enough is enough. I was just talking to someone the other day where I was talking about us having a global forum for reparations for slavery, a global forum, not just CARICOM, not just, but everybody under one, you know, single umbrella, right? Where there's a global forum of all black people for slavery, okay? And as everybody, not segregated into Caribbean, not segregated just into Africans, but everybody. That means you in the diaspora as well, you know, if you were born in England or born in America, all of us coming together under one umbrella, and it's starting for us to make real demands, because it's almost as though they think we're sleeping. We are not sleeping. And we have to start making those financial moves. When you leave a footprint, okay? You leave a footprint. Hang on a sec. Sorry, did I miss you? Sir Jacob. Sorry, I'm just trying to follow the stream as I'm talking. Okay, that the echo sounds like you're in an empty home right now. No, dear, when you build your house in Africa, it's just big. I have got a mic, you can see. Hello, 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 hello. Anyway, so I do apologise if there's an echo. It's hardly empty. It's just that when you build your house in Africa, you can make it more spacious. You can build your house to your own design. And that's why I told you to come back to Africa. That is why I say, come, we can help you to repatriate. We can help you to acquire land. Right now, we have a land which is 200 by 50 meters in Kartong, which is Riverside, Kartong Riverside. We have land which is in Gunjur, and also there is a beautiful site. Excuse me, sorry. There's a beautiful site which has just been brought to our attention, which I was supposed to film yesterday that I didn't get to, which is off of the oh my goodness, what's the name of that road beginning with C? Coastal Road. And this is if you wanted to build a story building or a business building, it's perfect for that, and it's in the business area, and it is surrounded by other tall business buildings. So if you're interested in that and you're looking for a location that you can build an office block or a hotel or something like that, then please let us know, because this is the perfect location for you. Some people are interested in business development here, and so as you know, I am a business developer. That was my trade. That's what I do. Although I studied law and business, I didn't go to be a lawyer. It wasn't quite for me, so I went down the business route instead, and that's what I do. So yeah, I think that it's really, really important for us, okay, to start to really come together under reparations. I just think that it's going sideways and going in different directions. We need a new push, and I'm hoping that the captain, the president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahima Traore, who I know watches this channel occasionally, can do something to help create this umbrella organization in much the way in which he has done for other organizations, including our own courts of justice as well. So I hope that he can do that. Hello, Rui. I'm in Gambia. I'm in Gambia, okay? Thank you so much for asking. And yeah, I'm African. I was born in England. If you want to know a little bit of my background and my story, I was born in England, and I was not happy there. I was not happy living there. I felt very unhappy, and I think, you know, you put on a mask, you wear a mask every day, pretending that you're happy to everyone, but inside you're miserable. And that's what was happening to me. And I found that I was only happy when I was in Africa. And so I decided that, you know, I needed to be happy. And so I left and I came to Africa to live permanently. And I live in the Gambia, which is where I love, you know. Yesterday, I had a wonderful day. I collected my prize from APS, as I was explaining to you. APS is Approved Money Services, and it's a great service in which you can transfer money, so get your money out of the country and get it to Africa, okay? So we were talking about alternatives to using the banks. So I would like you to, you know, think about going to APS. I did put it on a community post yesterday, yeah? So, Sir Jacob, no, we dropped a bottle. No one's cleaning. Sorry, dear. But you seem to be taking quite a firm interest in what's happening in my home. Can you tell me why? I'm just waiting for your comments. Okay, well, like I was saying, I want to stay on topic because I think that reparations is very important at this time, and I am not going to stop talking about it. I am not going to stop raising it as a topic, because the genocide that we faced should not go left, okay? Unchecked. It should not go left uncompensated for, and it should not go left unspoken about it. We must speak about it every day. If someone tells you that it's in your past, you say, no, it's in my DNA. Okay? When they say it's in your past, you say, no, it's in my DNA. And your top scientists have proven that this trauma exists in our DNA, and that this trauma affects us every day. And we are still living the experience, because you know what? We were displaced. And I'm first gen born in England. I was definitely displaced. Okay, so I'm just seeing the mods' responses. Mod is making me laugh. Mods. I don't know if you're seeing the comments. So anyway, go easy on the mod, okay? The mod is Caffrey, okay? So go easy on the mod. So I've got some ideas that I wanted to share, because I could have talked about some other things this week which were quite topical, but I think that reparations should be topical. I think that reparations should be something that we should talk about on a daily, weekly, and a constant basis. Let's just put it that way, a constant basis. And it should be a topic that should be never out of our mouths, never out of sight, and never out of mind, okay? There should be reparations for all people, okay? All people whose ancestors were enslaved, because number one, we weren't given freedom, we had to buy our freedom, okay? So think about this. You had to pay for your own freedom. You were enslaved, okay? And then they made you an indentured slave, okay? Enslaved African. And in which case, right? So they went from saying, okay, it's slavery is enforced. So no, okay, we're going to abolish it, but then we're going to make you indentured slaves, and then we're going to make you sharecroppers, okay? But throughout the whole situation, you're still really enslaved, and you're still under their control. The other day, I gave you the story about what's his name? Simon Harding, okay? And the dogs, and that he fed the slave owners, okay, to the dogs. I think I'm sure I shared that story with you. And why was it an important story? Because heroes like him are hardly known. And yes, I did say hero, because so many enslaved Africans had been mauled and eaten by those dogs, so many of them. And so it was a befitting tale that the table should turn, and they should also be dog food also. And so, you know, they became chum, mixed with pig meat, and they were fed over time to the dogs. So the exact same dogs that they used to go and to seek Africans which were trying to run away from their enslavement, run away from the torture, run away from the wickedness that was being done to them, run away from the rape, run away from the whippings, run away from the killings, and stop being dog food. Now they returned to dog food. And I think it's a befitting story, because many of us have forgotten about stories of bravery. And this is a story of bravery. This was meticulous planning. And in order to get reparations, we are going to have to plan meticulously, because we are dealing with people that do not have the same level of consciousness and conscience, okay, compassion and empathy as we do, and we have to recognize that, okay? You cannot deal with evil, right, with kind hands. It's not going to work, yeah? And you know, the thing that they love the most is money, okay? They love money and control. That's why we need to have a revolution. And the only way to have a revolution creates change. Okay? Civil wars keep things the same. Okay, we need revolution. Revolution means change. That means that we change things the way that we want them to be. If we want reparations, they're not just going to hand it to us. Okay, they are not going to hand it to us. It's either we realize that, we're going to have to sacrifice our very lives if we have to. And the thing is that we know that we live on, okay? Let's not let them fool us into their stupid way of thinking, making us fear death. We do not need to fear death because we are transitional. We move on. We always have done. This is just one stop in the step of our own personal journey and evolution and ascension. So we should not fear death. Okay? We do not need to hang on to their materialism. We need to fight for our rights. What do you mean, am I calling for violence? Are you afraid of violence? Are you fearing violence? Wasn't it violence the means that they used to get Africans into those ships? Wasn't violence the means that they used when they burned and sealed the Royal Seal of East Africa Royal Slavery Company onto their chests? East India Slavery Shipping Company, Royal Shipping Company, onto their chest. Was it not violence when they whipped them? Was it not violence when they put shackles on their hands and on their feet and around their neck and sometimes on their mouths like animals? Was it not violence when they raped our children? Was it not violence when they burned down our villages? Was it not violence? I do not fear violence. I fear people that are passive and want to do nothing. I agree with Malcolm X by any means necessary. Because at the end of the day, you are only going to get reparations by force, financial and economical force. And if you think financial and economical force equates violence, then that's your interpretation of it. But I say, by whatever means necessary, we get reparations, we force reparations, we fight for reparations, and we get reparations because it is our right. Our ancestors did not die in vain, and they will be avenged. Okay? Someone said, sorry, I can't read this. Just a girl in Canada said the Nigerians don't even know how they were treated. I think you should say some. I think you should say some because some absolutely do. Okay, some absolutely do. That's not true. That's not true. Because I personally have had conversations with Nigerians that are fully aware of how they were treated. And some of them come from all different parts of Nigeria. And some come from River State, some come from Lagos, some come from Upper State, some come from Ogun State, some come from all different parts of Nigeria, and they are fully aware of the history. Thank you very much. Yeah. I think, Sir Jacob, I think that you are misguided. I think terrorism is what's happening to Black people today. Okay, I think terrorism is what is happening in West Papua today. I think that the United Nations giving Indonesia administrational control of West Papua to allow them to do a slow mode genocide is what we call domestic terrorism, when nearly 500,000 people have been killed. What, for gold, for silver, for oil, for all of their resources? Go and look at what Freeport Moran are doing there. Go and look at what Rio Tinto are doing there. Go and look at what BP are doing there. Stop talking about domestic terrorism, because racism is domestic terrorism. And that is wholesale racism, that is genocide. Watching on YouTube while a woman is beaten by police is domestic terrorism. Watching George Floyd being strangled to death is domestic terrorism. Watching all of our heroes and sheroes be gunned down and killed is domestic terrorism. Watching what happened to Malcolm X is domestic terrorism. Watching what's happened to everybody that has ever tried to put their head above the parapet, whether it was Thomas Sankara, whether it was, there's so many. There's so many. If I start, I'll fill the whole show with names and I will start to get very emotional. Emotional. Mega fully. How many more do you want to talk about that were taken out? How many African leaders that were doing something good in Africa have been taken out? Or had to flee their countries? So you want to talk about domestic terrorism? Why don't we talk about there? Why don't we talk about what happened to Gaddafi? Why don't we talk about what happens to any African leader? Why don't we talk about the 22 assassination attempts that have been made on Captain Ibrahima Traore, the president of Burkina Faso? Why don't we talk about that? Why don't we also talk about the attempts on the president of Niger? Why don't we also talk about the attempts on the president of Mali? Why don't we talk about that? So if you want to talk about domestic terrorism, I'll talk to you about domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism is when you're living in a country, a white country, when you're afraid every time the police come near you, when you are scared every time you see a blue light flash you as you're driving down the road. Domestic terrorism is that you fear for your life when you are in the presence of police. Okay, that is domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism is that a member of your family can't even have a mental breakdown or mental issue without wondering that if the police are going to come in, are they going to shoot them dead? You got to wonder, are you going to report this crime because the police might come in and accuse you of being a criminal and shoot you dead? That's what you call domestic terrorism. Just thought I'd mention it, okay? So, the Naira is not worthless because people are still living by it every day. Okay, the Naira is not worthless. It might have reduced in value. Okay, but it doesn't mean it's not worthless. And you have to look at governance. Okay, you have to look at governance, because when the dollar went down, when Trump was dealing with all of his so-called tariffs, who was talking about the dollar being worthless? This is what I don't like here, double standards and hypocrisy. Who was talking about the dollar being worthless? When he was invoking tariffs, everywhere, until China hit back, licked back. How about all of the visa constraints that America put on certain African countries, and countries like Chad licked back? What about the African countries that lick back? What about them wanting to now put their migrations, right? Their free migrations, which is like another slavery, where they're dropping off people in African countries without their permission. Let's talk about that. Isn't that domestic terrorism? What about those people? They dropped off in African countries, for example, Burkina Faso. They don't speak French. He was born in the Bronx his whole life. He don't know nothing about nothing. He don't know where he was getting put on a plane. Why don't you talk about that? That's domestic terrorism. Taken out of America and just dumped in another African country. What? Because Trump wants to do what? Listen, and the order was signed off by him himself. So, if you want to talk about domestic terrorism, you need to go to America, my dear. Okay, that's when you need to talk about it. And while you're there talking about it, talk about reparations, because that's part of our domestic terrorism, is that we've never had reparations. Okay, that is part of domestic terrorism, is the fact that we have been made to make sure that we are not given duly what is owed to us. They paid the slave owners compensation, though, didn't they? They paid the slave owners compensation, but they're still refusing to pay us compensation. So how is it the slave owners were entitled to compensation? How is it that they have been seen to have made a loss because of the loss of their so-called chattel? But yet we haven't been paid compensation. What about the money that we should get back for selling our ancestors into to paying for their freedom, paying for the freedom of our own children? So I'm just saying, okay, I'm just saying, I watched a whole documentary about slavery in Nigeria, okay, made by a Nigerian. I don't think that we are all uneducated, okay? I really don't think so. And if you read the book, Things Fall Apart by oh my gosh, his name's gone out of my head. It was just there on the tip of my tongue. It will come back to me, Chiabano. Tell me the author of Things Fall Apart, please. Okay, all right. Okay, I see your correction there. Yeah, I see your correction. Okay, so I'm going to talk to Ayoka Efu, right? Ayoka, come through. Okay, and so you will open doors to others from foreign lands. So what I have to say is that there have been many restrictions that have been made in many countries, okay, restricting Africans from going to their countries, okay, which to me is wholesale racism. And in turn, many African countries have also put visa restrictions on those countries. This is why I say that we need to have our own diasporan African passport, so that the restrictions that are being made on Americans, if you're African and you're born in America, yeah, or so-called African American, right, you are not then affected by the same legislation. This is why it's so important for us to have our African citizenship, okay, as African descendants or ascendants, okay, or as diasporans. This is why it's so important, okay? And I do say, yes, we should definitely use economical practices of withdrawal in order to get reparations, okay? That is the only way to do it, and that is the only effective way to do it, okay? We have to withdraw our finances and leave their countries, okay? We have to. It's just as simple as that. They've sold you a complete misnomer about Africa, okay? They've been doing it for a long time. They've completely used mass media in order to give you a completely skewed view of Africa. Africa is not how they've made it be, okay? Africa is absolutely adorable. It's so nice to live here, honestly. Okay, it is like the best, and they've told you it's the worst. It's actually the opposite. Living there, you're actually in hell. Let's think about it. Every day you're slaving for them, whether you like it or whether you don't like it. That is exactly what you're doing. And no matter how many lovely luxuries and comfort you have, you really don't have peace. You really don't have peace of mind. You only have peace of mind as much as they want to give it to you. Okay, until they want to either make some trumped up charges on you, or they want to create a disinformation campaign on you, or they want to bankrupt you, or they want to destroy your company, or they want to create some allegations against you for pedophilia or for rape or for whatever, because you're in their hands. You're in their hands, so you're not really free. You're not really living free. You know, at the end of the day, if they say that there is a ban on you watering your garden, okay, and they want to give you what they call water hole, not water hole, a pipe ban. They call it, I think, I forgot what they call it in England, but they call it a ban when you're not allowed to even water your own garden. Water hose ban, sorry, that's it. Water hose ban. And they tell you can't water your own garden. You're under that control. You're under that control, whether you like it or whether you don't like it. It doesn't matter how much money you've got, you're still under that control. Okay, and that is what I'm saying to you. You've got your own borehole, you've got your own water, you water your garden. There's a difference. There's a difference between you living under their control and being in freedom. And the best way for reparations, and the best way is for repatriation. Take your money and leave. Okay, different people have different reasons for living in different countries. I've seen people's different reportage about living in different places in Africa. You have to be selective according to the lifestyle that you want to live, according to where you go to. So that is part of your, your research, and that is quite important. Okay. So Linda said, I don't care. Talk the ting is true. I love you, Linda. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, I'm not knocking at your door, and why? Because you won't. I've got no idea. Sorry, I must have missed the comment there. I'm sorry. Answer to the black man, Answer. Just again in Canada said you're smart. You should be a president. Oh, thank you so much. That would be lovely. And Sir Jacob said, I live in America. So therefore, Sir Jacob, you should be fully aware, You're giving your name Sir Jacob, How could you be a Sir in England, in America? But anyway, because the titles are different, aren't they? You find that sirs and so on are bestowed upon you in England, or you can buy them. You can buy title in England. Like I said, I'm Lady Ryan, but I don't use the title. Okay, so just again, in Canada said, I live in America. And then she said, you don't deserve reparations. Now, what I'd like to find out is who made you judge and arbiter on, did you deserve compensation? Did the slave owners deserve compensation for what they did to us? The worst crimes against humanity. Did they deserve compensation? So if they think that they deserve compensation, why shouldn't the victims deserve compensation? I am still a victim because, I had to make my own way to Africa. Okay? I had to pay my way to Africa. I was not given compensation to make it back to my nation. You took me out, now put me back. I want restitution. I want compensation. And I want restitution, just like what they've done to those Africans. Then why don't those people that stole the land in Africa, why don't they give it back? Or why aren't they forced through the courts to give it back and to get out? Just like what they did to those Africans in the Highlands of Scotland. Why don't they get out? They don't belong there. The same argument that they gave, you're not Jacobites, you couldn't possibly Jacobites. Well, you're not Africans. Your ethnicity is not African. You come from the Canaanites. You're not African. You come from, you're Caucasian. You're not African. So by the same means, let me tell you something here. Not only do I deserve reparations, but as well as that, I deserve compensation. As well as that, I deserve for us to get back our nations. We deserve to get back all our artifacts. We deserve to get back everything that was taken from us, our inventions that were taken by us when they wouldn't even allow us to register our inventions, and they register our inventions and then they use them even up to now. That was done even with the crisp. How many things have been taken from us? How many things have been taken from us? How many times are we going to talk about apartheid and what they did to South Africans? What compensation did South Africans get? How many times in America, right, in the 50s, you couldn't even go through a certain entrance. You couldn't drink at a certain water fountain. You couldn't even buy or stay in a certain hotel. Have you forgotten? Because I haven't, and I am not going to. I have not forgotten what it was like to grow up in England in the 70s. I have not forgotten all the racism that I faced, and why should I? And I should be compensated for that. Because we have human rights. We have African rights. And we should fight for them. We have every right, every single right under this land, under this sun, to get compensation. And that's why I say, do not buy their goods unless you have to. Okay? Do not bank in their banks unless you have to. Boycott everything that you can. I'm telling you, if every African and American, right, every black person in America, every black person in England, every black person all over the world decided that we're not paying your taxes, they ain't got enough jail space for us. If you decide that you ain't paying the taxes and you're leaving and you're going to take that money and you're coming to Africa, what are they going to do? So in drip fashion, bit by bit, we leave. You want to leave, you want to come, you want to say, I will help you. I will help you to come and to resettle here in the Gambia. Gambia is beautiful. It's small. It's a beautiful country. The people are lovely. The hospitality is wonderful. It's a lovely place. And, you know, a lot of people speak English, so you're not going to really have such a difficult transition. And because they are very hospitable, it's very easy for you to make that transition. And I'm telling you, I love it. It's affordable to live. The land is still affordable. There are even still 2 plots in Bussorah, which is like, no, there's more than 2 plots now. But the plots, there are 2 plots which are $1,000 each, and there are a few more which are slightly more expensive. So you're not going to break the bank and then go and build your small house. You have no rent, you have no mortgage. Put your borehole on there, put up your solar. Come on, grow your vegetables. You know, live your life. Live your life. I don't want to live under oppression, depression, suppression. And I'm living here, and I'm not living under that. I'm sorry, but I am living a much healthier, much better, much peaceful life, and I am loving it. And the most problems I've had, I'm going to admit to you, most problems that I have hasn't even been from my own people here in the Gambia. It has been problems that have been created by, you know, misguided, misinformed, and, you know, mentally ill, some of them, diasporans. Okay? Through jealousy, through envy, and, you know, through just being in low vibration frequency, karmic, way of thinking. You know, they want to take, but they don't want to give. They want to destroy, but they don't want to make. You understand? And that's not the way of thinking. That is not brotherhood, sisterhood. That is not community. Okay? They want to destroy, but they don't want to build. No, it doesn't work like that. We have to work together, okay? Linda said you don't know. You understand? You never know. Anyway. So she said they removed the Harriet Tubman Memorial. Okay, that's something that I'll look into. I wasn't aware of that, so thank you for telling me. The thing is that, yeah, thank you, things fall apart. I was looking for the author's name. That's it. Thank you. It's not China. It's Chioba. I think it's Chioba Achebe. I don't think it's China. I don't think his name was China. I think it's Chioba. I don't think his name was China. Can someone else check it out? Achebe is definitely, I remember that, but I don't remember China. Thank you, Ayoka, for trying. Linda said, let's demand back our taxes back in the UK. We've been paying slave owners, and the records are there, and it tells how much and who and what. So what are we waiting for? This is what I'm saying. What are we waiting for? The problem is that we're selling ourselves out short, okay? We're selling ourselves out short, and, you know, I was grateful for the 2,500, yeah, that I got from APS as a prize yesterday. It was amazing to get back. I'm in Africa and they're giving back. You're there in England, and then what they're giving back. And then the thing is, like, they say, oh, don't bite the hand that feeds you, but it's poison. It's poison. They're just giving it to you to keep you in the same position. They're giving it to keep you stagnant. They're giving you what they're giving you to keep you stuck, so you keep feeding their system. It's just as simple as that. Because I was watching one other vlogger, I've forgotten his name, and he does things to show you how to make money online, okay? And his name will come back to me. But the thing is, let's talk. Let's talk. Hang on, because I've only watched it. I haven't been I haven't subscribed to the channel for very long. But it's Let's Talk something. But anyway, he's doing this, and I thought, let me have a look, because I'm always looking for ideas to share about how to make money online for you, so that you can come and live in Africa without having to have any financial concerns. But we paid compensation to the enslavers up until 2015. And in fact, if you look on Blaxit, I actually interviewed the man who started the article and did the BBC programme, and also wrote the book about it, and also wrote the article in The Guardian. David, Professor David Akiobi, I think is his name, or Achiobi. I interviewed him on Blaxit, and when I was in Sierra Leone. Okay, so go and have a look back at that interview. Okay, that's really important. So he done a whole feature on it, and so we are owed this. And when I called the tax office, they laughed at me. I swear. I told them, what is the tax code that I can actually claim? I would like to make a tax rebate for the slave money that was paid, because I didn't agree to pay compensation. Okay, and neither did my grandmother, so I'd like to make a claim on behalf of my family in order to get that money back, the compensation. And they laughed at me. They thought it was hilarious. And this is the thing, it's the arrogance of it. I was involved in the reparations movement as well, and did many media campaigns, and I have appealing. I've been on the marches, part of the protest. I've done my own protests in my own way, not even as part of an organization, but in my own way. I've also campaigned for Free West Papua. But the thing is that we have to do it collectively. We have to do it. But if half of us are sleeping and half of us don't care, how can you not care about your ancestors? Every year they do their tributes to the people that died in World War I and World War II. They have their V-Day. Well, where's our bloody V-Day? Excuse my language. Where's our V-Day? Where's our compensation? They pay compensation to the Japanese. They pay compensation to the Jews. Where's our compensation? It's high time. I've gone over the hour as usual. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want us to get lackadaisical. We're always going to be getting distracted, okay? Saving Africa Uncensored. Thank you very much. Keep it up, sister. Thank you very much. Saving Africa Uncensored. We're going to keep getting, sidetracked. So I am so grateful for those 3 people that went into the Scotland Highlands and made a statement and showed, look, this is what they're going to do. They quickly got them evicted off the land, quickly went with so many police to arrest them. And the coverage that they got was diabolical. So why aren't we doing the same thing in Africa? It's time for us to turn the tables. It's high time for us to let them have a taste of their own medicine, and by any means necessary. People say, oh, are you talking about violence? Hang on a minute. So we're supposed to just be the people that are supposed to receive violence. Is that right? So we're supposed to be on the receiving end of violence. Make that make sense. The math ain't mathing. Okay? The math is not mathing. Like I said, they're using tricks to keep us brain dead. Okay? They're using their media to hypnotize us, and to teach us false narratives, okay, and to make us passive. They're putting things in the water, which I will talk to you about. Damn, I meant to talk to you about this week, and I've run over time again. I wanted to talk to you about the water and the effect of fluoride. I wanted to talk to you about and why I told you to use reverse osmosis systems last week, okay? Because they are doing it, because they know there's an uprising. They know that the sun is now affecting our DNA through our melanin, okay? They know that there's like an ascension happening. There's an awakening happening. That's why you're here on Blaxit, is because you're being awakened, okay? And yeah, they can try and skew my views. They can try and skew the people that are subscribing to the channel. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, because I did an experiment, okay? I did an experiment because I thought, hang on a minute, something's happening here. Something isn't right. So I did an experiment. And so I did the price we pay for freedom. When I did the price we pay for freedom, and I put it out there, and I made sure that my voice and my image wasn't on it, 480,000 views on this channel, 480,000 views. So you know that something is happening. So it doesn't bother me what views they say I've got, as long as the message is getting out. It doesn't bother me that they've demonetized me, as long as the message is getting out. I'm not doing this for pay. I'm doing this because I want to wake up and shake up my people and educate them that, look, Africa is an option for you. Okay, it is an option for you, but we have to learn to work together. We have to learn to trust each other. We have to learn to enable each other. We have to learn to, bring each other up instead of bringing each other down. We have to start learning to love each other in relationships. Fathers have to start being responsible for their children. Okay? Fathers have to start being very involved in their children's life and being a teacher of their children of the right way, not the wrong way. Because there's too much of that happening at the moment. Mothers, we also have to take responsibility for making sure that we educate our children. We teach them that, okay, they don't have to look white to be right. Okay? But if we're trying to look white, we're bleaching our skins and we're wearing wigs, then what kind of message are we giving to our children? Okay, we have to stand on business ourselves. Okay, and Blaxit is about us standing on business. People talk to me about, but all of us, we're all in the same boat. We're all in this, and we're all in that. But I have to deal with my people first, because we have been so broken. We have been so damaged. It is my job to make sure that you remember who you are. You are divine. Do not ever feel that you are second class, yeah? Or you are an underling, or you are less than a Caucasian, ever. You are born of divinity, okay? You are born of divinity, and your melanin is your divinity. Stop taking it out of your skin, okay? The truth of the matter is this, is that one by one, we have to get together. Yeah? One by one, just like grains of sand on a beach. Okay? We have to get together, and we have to say enough is enough is enough. We need to have a campaign where enough is enough, and we demand reparations. No reparations, no taxes. No reparations, we're not buying your products and services, because we've got our own. Thank you very much. It's high time that we started to love ourselves and stop destroying ourselves, because that is exactly what they want. They want us to turn on. People said to me, Julie, you're teaching separatism. I said, no, we have to become separate. As Marcus Garvey said, give us 50 years unmolested to work on ourselves. That's what China did. China separated itself and worked on itself to bring itself up as a nation before they started dealing with other nations. And that's what we have to do. We have to see ourselves as a global people. Black people, we are global Africans, and we have to all see ourselves as Africans and be proud to be African. They did enough jobs on us in order to make us not feel proud to be African. They've done enough to try and make Africa look like a place where you don't want to be. It's a place where you need to be. Because if it wasn't, why are they here? Why are so many of them here? Ask yourself that. And why aren't enough of us here? So it's time for us to make a plan, okay? Like I said, it's time for us to make a plan. I talked about this before. I talked about, the fact that we need to have like a global treaty. I talked about this. This is not anything, this is nothing new that I'm talking about. This is so important for us, okay? Because we do need change. And that change is important. I talked about us living by the guidance of Ma'at, yeah? Under the 42 principles of Ma'at, by the 7 laws of Ma'at, yeah? Instead of their Isfet, instead of living under their chaos, their violence, and their evil. And didn't you notice that the first thing that person said to me is, are you talking about violence? Is that the only language that you understand? I talked about an African unity, yeah, compliance order. And reparations has to be at the top of that bill. The African unity compliance order. We have to have it. We have to make it. We have to create it. And we have to enforce it. Because there's no point in having talk without enforcement and action. Okay? There is no point. So, you know, Burkina Faso, many other African countries are now lighting the way. Namibia, right? Many other African nations is coming up together now. Africa's on the rise. Okay, we are now beginning to appreciate ourselves as African. We're now beginning to love our own African creations, our own African innovations. We are loving our own African food, our own African culture, and we are proud to be who we are. And it's high time. Yes, whether we're dancing to Afro beats or wearing our African garms, it's high time for us to show our identity and stand up as Africans. It's high time that we start to demand reparations in our own way. Okay, it's high time we demand reparations. The same way that they kick them people out of the highlands, it's time for us to also invoke our own rules, our own guidelines, because those lands were taken unlawfully, because we now do not agree with their laws. It's time for us to have our own laws, our own governance, our own education. It's high time for Africa to do African and to forget the European and the colonial ways, okay? It's time to get rid of them, and it's time to have our own reset, our own restart. It's time for Africa to start over afresh, okay? Without their influence, without their handouts. We don't need you. That's what we need to say. We don't need you. But we demand our reparations because it's owed. It's not a begging bowl, it's owed. Okay? It's owed. Okay, so just a girl from Canada said, you're going to change the world. Gwanda9 said, a Pan-African passport. This is what I was saying. This is what I said. It's high time that we had a Pan-African passport. It's been in the AU for how many years now? How many years has the AU said they're going to do it? AU needs to now put action. Yeah, too much talking, too much talking, too much talking. Yeah? Ayoka said, yes, we have to put theory into actual practice. Absolutely. Yeah? Okay. Okay, thank you, Frank. Frank Hawkins, I'm just reading your comments. Are you okay? So gratitude for this serious discussion. Thank you. We're coming to an end, to a close now. So if there's anything else you want me to discuss before I go. Oh, I forgot the questions. So let me just quickly cover the questions. Yes. I do see that we have been infiltrated on this chat by European, Caucasian. I'm coming to Gambia to visit soon. Yes, that would be lovely. Just let me know. You have my number, +220-240-5273. That's the text line. Okay. Yeah, appreciate my dear, said Patricia. Thank you so much, Patricia. Okay, Chenua. I told you, Chenua Chibi. Things fall apart. Do read that book if you've never read it. It gives you a good idea of what they did, and it also talks about some practices that also were outdated, but it doesn't mean that we should still take their side of what they call civilization, because we civilized them first, and we must never forget that. Okay, we need to build Africa together, says Patricia. Chinua, yeah, that's it. Chinua Achebe, thank you so much. Yeah, I was nearly there. Patricia, thank you also for telling us, is the author of of Things Fall Apart. Yeah, how are you, Blaxit family? I'm great, Chemo. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, Ayoka. Thank you, Patrice. The colonial masters have done so much. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it can't be undone. Yeah, the first thing we need to undo is those borders, yeah, and undo the Berlin Conference. We've spoken about that before, and it's very, very important. But before we even go into looking at their laws and their supplementary laws, we have to look at undoing what was done to us mentally as well, because they have done a lot of things to us in order to try and destroy us, destroy our minds. Okay, and so we need to, like I said, we need to have our own unbreakable African unity compliance order, and we need to do it. I am my own unofficially self-appointed stateswoman of the diaspora of Africa. Yeah, and I am putting forward that we should have an African unity compliance order. Okay, 1, to unite Africans, to unite globally. 2, to create a borderless Africa, uniting Africa with a renewed security initiatives, ones that don't make you feel as though you're a criminal, okay? The desecration of all of the remnants of colonialism that has to be done. End of the tribalism and discrimination, xenophobia created by the colonizers, based on lack and control of resources and socio-economic and political and social systems, and lack of resources and unequal distribution of wealth. I've written this, okay, so these are my words. Okay, so this is my idea of the African Unity Compliance Order. Someone asked me about it because I'd mentioned it, so they wanted to hear what my ideas were. So that was one of the questions, so I'm just answering it for you now. So this is my idea of if I'm, like I said, I'm an unappointed stateswoman for the diaspora of Africa, okay? And I propose, yeah, an African Unity Compliance Order. And these are some of the things that I would have tabled under it. Number 1 is to order Africans to unite globally, yeah? Number 2 is to create a borderless Africa, a united Africa. And when I mean order, I mean like a whole database of Africans, yeah, globally that would be registered with all of us together. So like a network where we can all be contacted, all have information disseminated. Other nations have it, why can't we? Yeah, create a borderless Africa, a united Africa with a renewal for new and different innovative security initiatives, not using the ones that primarily exist at the moment, similar to the way in which they are governed in other countries. The desecration of all of the remnants of colonialism, that was number 3. 4 was the end of tribalism and discrimination, xenophobia created by the colonizers based on lack and control of resources, socio-economical and political and social systems, lack of resources and unequal distribution of wealth. Unite with the diaspora, African ascendants and descendants born outside of the continent due to the immoral and abhorrent, inhumane enslavement of their ancestors, kidnapping them away from their rightful families and origin. Replace it with an unbreakable African Unity Compliance Order. Then, of course, reparations, the call for reparations as a Black people, African people globally, okay? So that will be the global forum that I was talking about, the global forum for reparations. Yeah, just a global forum for reparations for all people that are affected by our enslavement, and we use it as an umbrella in order to push forward what we need. And if everybody is on the same thing, then we will be able to push. But we have to break through the fear barrier first. They have us under this fear barrier, and we have to break through the fear barrier. We have to. They've got us under so much fear. Fear of going to jail, fear of them doing this, fear of losing that, fear of losing this. And that's why I say, if you come to Africa, you will abort that fear process. Okay. And that's why I say leave. Part of the reparations for you personally has to be to leave the country. Okay, come back to Africa. 5 is to restrict outside colonizer and enemy interference, sabotage, subterfuge, manipulation, media propaganda, and destabilization. 6. That was 6. That was 7. Is to reinforce the Sahel, the CS, the AES, and the African in the African context, and support Ghana, which has 600 kilometers of borders with Burkina Faso, that they can gain access to the Timor port. When I said that, I mean, this goes for all African nations as well that would need access to water, okay, in order to open proper free trade in Africa. All African nations have to pledge to the African unity and inter-African trade in place of foreign trade. So all African nations have to pledge to the African Unity Compliance Order in order to have unity in inter-African trade and in the place of foreign trade. And all African nations have to create their own Africa-wide defense system and stop all internal conflict. Okay? All African nations, so basically they have to have a peace treaty, so all African nations, no more conflict. Okay? So all African nations will agree to a joint initiative to support and invest in African in Africa and African youth, innovations, inventions, scientists, entrepreneurs, farmers, mothers, and science, technology, economic movement, and their own African internet, which is already underway, as I believe. 10 was unification of all Africans, despite location, age, language, culture, religion, language, ethnicity, and no further European immigration systems based on African Compliance Order. It's time for the African Unity Compliance Order, and I am because we are. Okay, Ubuntu. So that was, someone asked me about that because I talked about it, and they asked me what was the African Compliance Order, okay, African Unity Compliance Order, the AUCO, okay, AUCO, that's mine, that's what I said. And I'm also calling for, like I said, a global reparations, okay, forum. So I want a global reparations forum for slavery. Okay, I think it's important that we do now. It's high time. We're in 2025. If we're not going to get it right before, we can get it right now. Okay, we can get it right now. It's time to stop politicizing too much bureaucracy. We have to start just talking plain, start uniting together, bringing all those organizations together. No more, no bickering, infighting. It's time for us to start using technology as it is there and has been created for us and by us, and in order to make the strides that we need to move towards. Okay, it's very, very important. So I think, was there any more questions? I'm just checking for questions because there was a couple that was sent through. I wrote it down on this book. Sorry, I'm just looking for the page that I wrote the question on. Oh, okay. So the last question is, what can we do to stop believing their narrative? So firstly, you've got to realize that their lies can have no power over you. So you have to actively take your power back. Okay? So their lies have no power over you. Okay? So nothing can resist your voice or your intellect. Yeah, you have to put your intellect in, nothing can resist your voice. Your voice has to be impenetrable. You have to make your voice count. Okay, make your life count. Don't be sitting here just working from 9 to 5 and that's it, just being a lag dog for them. Okay, and sorry, let me just change that, being a lucky for them. Okay, I apologize for that, the use of that term. Yeah, it's an English term and I don't like it. But it slipped into my mouth. It shows you the conditioning. Okay, lucky for them. Yeah, we got to say their lies have no power over us. Okay, their lies have no power over us anymore. Okay, yeah, let them say what they want to say. Now you have your own discernment. Okay, we have our own discernment. We have our own intellect. We have our own educators. We have our own doctors. We have our own reporters. We have our own media. We have our own intellectuals, and we have our own influencers. And soon we'll have our own internet. Yeah, so we have to take back that power. Okay, that's what we have to do, and stop believing their lies. Just simple. Stop believing their lies and start believing yourself. Okay, they're not the modicum of beauty. You are. Okay, Just remember that. They're not the modicum of intelligence. You are. You know, we have to stop allowing people to think that they're better than us, because they're not, okay? They're not. They either equalize or generalize, but they're not better, okay? All right? They either equalize or generalize, but they're not better. So listen, today I had to push on against that agenda about what they did to, you know, the group, the Kalani tribe who occupied the Scottish Highlands. You know, I think that we should start to give them back the exact same sentiment as they treated those people. So I want you to look at the story and you will see the absolutely disgusting excuse for racism, which was cloaked in the form of media journalism. Absolutely abhorrent, disgusting, turned my stomach, okay? So I want you to go and look at the story. I will post it again on the community page so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, okay? And the reason what they did and the reasons why we need to turn the tables. It's time for them to have a taste of their own medicine. And yes, we can give it. Why? Because we have the resources that the world depends on. So time to control our resources, time to withdraw our resources, and time to say no. Look at what's happening in France right now. Why? Because of what Niger has done. Why? Because of what Burkina Faso has done. Why? Because of what Mali is doing. So when we work together collectively, we can make change, and that is so important. So Blaxit family, let's get together, let's unify. And remember, if you want to come back to Africa, get in contact with Blaxit, okay? We do have repatriation, and we can help you build your home. We can help you, you know, do that lovely design for your home. We can help you work within your budget. We can help you to resettle. Okay, whether it's get your children into school, get that driving license, get that bank account, get the children into school. Also, you know, find a home, get that car, do whatever, you know, help you to find your way. Okay, so way back home, let me say, because Africa is our home. All right, so listen, let's just remember that. Just be proud of yourself. Be black, be proud. And we have to have allegiance. Yeah. We have to have allegiance with each other. We have to. Those who don't want to, you know, if they don't want to come and be with us, then just leave them out in the cold. Only work with those people that are vibrating on the same frequency as you. If someone is not vibrating on the same frequency as you, leave them. It's just like a bad relationship. If it's not working for you, leave them. If that person is disrespecting you, leave them. If that person is manhandling you, leave them. If that person is mistreating you, leave them. If that person is going around telling lies on you, leave them. Okay? If that person is, you know, being disrespectful to you and, you know, I don't know, cheating on you, what have you, betraying you, leave them. You deserve better. Okay? And that's the same as these nations. They're doing the same thing. You wouldn't be in a relationship with someone like that. So why are you staying in a country that's doing that to you on a daily basis? It's abuse. It's abuse on a daily basis. And you're living in a nation that's abusing you on a daily basis, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, whether it's unconscious bias or conscious bias. Whether it's those, you know, little, you know, what do they call them, microaggressions, or whether it's direct racism. You know, you've got to realize that you have another home. You don't have to be there. Okay, and your home can be Africa. It's time for us to invest here. It's time for us to realize that we do have a choice. And now we can make it. Okay, we can make it before they break us, because that is what they're trying to do. They are trying to break you mentally. The numbers of, you know, black people with mental health issues is going up by the day. People with autism is going up by the day. We need to refuse all of their jib jabs. You know exactly what I'm talking about. We need to stop taking their drugs. We need to start, you know, when I say their drugs, I mean their medications, okay, and pharmaceuticals, and also their drugs as well, and also their alcohol. You know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't do anything. I'm here living in Africa, living off the land, living, you know, my life and eating fresh food every day. So, and eating fruit and drinking fresh water. Do you understand? You don't even have a need for it, because when you're in peace, you don't have that stress. You just don't have that stress, okay? So I'm going to remind you that we are all one Africans, okay? We are Africans, okay? One unity, one Africa, one destiny, one love, okay? And if you would like to support Blaxit in any way, you can, okay? I'm not sitting here begging. I never have. You understand? I'm not doing this because I'm getting paid thousands of pounds from we may call it YouTube. No, I don't even get 1 cent, okay? I'm doing it because I love you. I'm doing it because I want you to change the lives and the lives of people around you. So what I want you to do for me, which is more important than money, is to share the content, okay? To share and to educate and to tell other people to subscribe to the channel, and please, touch that like button so at least we can get, more exposure on the algorithms, okay? That's what I would like for you to do for me. If you would like to support us in what we're doing in our program making, lovely, I would appreciate it. Always grateful for any donations that are made, to the cause. And if you'd like to do that, we do have a PayPal. And that is the email address, Mod, if you can put it up for me, is bopcollective@yahoo.com. Okay, it's Bop Collective, BOP Collective, be our power, yeah, and Black Operation Positive, that's what BOP. Okay, so BOP, yeah, collective@yahoo.com, and that email address has been around since about 1994, I believe. So, or even before then. But all I'm going to tell you is that, their lies have no power over us anymore. Their lies have no power over us anymore, yeah? Game over. Game over. Africa is waking up. We in the diaspora are waking up. And it's time for us to not call for reparations because there's no number there. We have to demand it. And we're going to demand it by withholding our money and by wholesaling ourselves, by leaving their countries and taking our money and taking our investments with us, taking our ideas with us, taking all of our businesses with us, and taking our good energy with us, okay? Our good energy, because they're doing forced migration right now, sending people who have never, stepped foot outside of America before in their lives, and then just dumping them in these, unmarked planes to Africa. Absolutely abhorrent, absolutely disgusting what they're doing. So I'm saying rather than do that, let's do our own forced migration and let's repatriate in numbers to Africa. Come and join me here in Gambia, or whatever country of yours by choice, okay? And, come and live a freer, happier life. Okay, so if you want to get in contact with me for text, like I said, there is a calling. Africa is calling you. That's the call that you should answer to. Africa is calling you. Reparations, we demand it now. Okay, we demand it now. I'm sick of this, political meandering. It's time to make demands. And it's time to boycott brands. It's time to, get in control of our own money, club our money together and use it effectively. It's time for us to be able to have trust, to work with each other on a global basis like other nations do. Okay, it's high time. I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for watching so much. I appreciate you and I love you. And remember, always love yourself, no matter what, love yourself. And remember, Blaxit loves you. Okay, Blaxit loves you. Okay, I love you. So if no one has told you today that they love you, I'm telling you today, I love you. Okay, and it's important that we love each other, very important. They've tried to destroy that by creating self-hate in us, right? We can destroy self-hate with love. We can create our own economy, we can create our own communities globally with love, okay? Because once we love each other, we'll learn to trust each other. When we learn to trust each other, we will start to invest and we will start to work together. And that is so important. So Blaxit family, once again, it has been wonderful talking to you. I appreciate all your wonderful comments. Yeah. Thank you, Rose. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to. You are a revolutionary lady. Go and love. Thank you so much. I love you too, Rose. Okay. Thank you so much. If I have missed your comment, Derek, 1981, is that? Is that Derek 1981? Let's have a look. Wow, it's been a long time since I've seen you. Oh, Mo Najai. Rise up, Africa. Absolutely. Yeah, I just did the last few comments before I leave. Yoko, thank you so much. What is best way to connect with you? Send me a text. Send me a text. +220 via WhatsApp. That's +220 2405273. Mod has just put it in the comments. Yeah, Mahogany Spirit. It's been a while. Finally able to join. I'm interested in purchasing some land. Please text me urgently, okay? Land is going up in price and we're trying to keep it artificially low, okay, for you. So please contact me as soon as possible. That's on text me +220 240 5273. Say I'm interested in buying land and I was on your live, okay? That would be great. Thank you so much, Mahogany Spirit. Also to G, Herman, how are you? Empress Wagwan, what they are, you know, see? We just live and drop 2 information, the Pandi live. Okay, Tajen says, bless up. Yeah, bless yourself, man. Wagwan. So Tajen Herman said, borderless Africa is a bad idea at this point in time. Absolutely not. Disagree. Absolutely disagree. Absolutely disagree. Absolutely disagree. Mahogany Spirit says, I will call you this week. Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much. Ayoka says, all options for our good should be on the table so we can decide, that we can decide what is good and when. Yeah. Return stolen artifacts should also be a priority. I agree with you. Okay, I realized I've missed a lot of comments. So RJ, thank you. We are all ready and do this in the AU. I don't understand. You already do what? We even letter the SDC, which my country is a part of this. I don't understand exactly what you mean. So come back in on me, RJ, so I can understand practice, not theory. Yeah. RJ, I am South African. I don't understand this concept of coloured. Coloured for me was a racist term. When we grew up in England and you said coloured, we was like, well, we ain't coloured. We're black. I don't understand what coloured is. I don't understand it. What are you? You understand? What are you? You say your ancestors were enslaved. Okay, so Ubuntu. Oh, Ubuntu, you meant Ubuntu. Okay, all right, cool. I get it now. I don't understand colours. I really don't understand it. You're going to have to explain it to me. I never understood it. We have our own internet here, Mansu. That's cool. Ubuntu. The discussion is our best. Linda says hi. RJ said, I saw this thing in Scotland. Why will they want to be there? It's so cold. It's not. It's a principle. It's a principle. White people live there. White people live there. Why can't black people? You think that there's not snow in some places in Africa? Of course there's snow. Even Egypt has snow at certain times of the year, certain parts of Egypt. Yes. Africa has snow. So certain places, I think Eswatini has snow as well, certain times of the year. I think it's Eswatini, yes. It's not about who has a man or a family. It's about our people. Don't be nasty. Oh, I don't know who that's at. But that's right. It's about one people, one family. That's right. I agree. Let's find our way back home as soon as possible. Mahogany Spirit, thank you so much for the heart. RJ, I want my village school last year and everything I could do last year. Everything must try and help people must try and help their own way. Wait, RJ. So Larry M, yeah? I'm gonna answer this before I go, because you know what? You know, sometimes I like to burn a little fire. You understand? I like to burn a little fire underneath some people. So Larry M, yeah? Let me just share with you, yeah? I'm living in Africa, okay? Let me make this very clear. Africa is my place of choice to live in, to breathing, to sleeping, and to pass away in. Yeah, Africa is paradise. Okay, Africa has 54 different countries to choose from. Africa is like a mansion with many different rooms. Choose one. And you know what Africa hasn't got? Yeah, too many of you in it. Asking me why. Why would I want to live in Africa? So I can be free of racism and free of discrimination. I can be free to grow my fruit. I can be free to eat my food. I can be free to live among my own people without being concerned. I can be free without being dominated and controlled. I can be free without wondering if I'm going to have a party, if I'm going to have police come and knock at my door to tell me about the decibels, if I'm going to drive down the road and be worried if I'm going to be killed or stopped by police. I'm free to be me. And that's why I live in Africa, because you know what? When I sit by the beautiful beach, when I walk down the beautiful streets, that's right, sandy, beautiful, golden streets. When they said that heaven has got, you know, roads made of gold, when you see the golden sand in Africa, I realized that's what they were talking about. Okay? When I can pick my mangoes off the tree, listen, this is heaven to me. So why am I living in Africa? To be among my own people and to be free. And you know what else I love about Africa? It is nothing like Europe, nothing like England, and I love it. Yeah, I love it. And I would rather be here than anywhere else. Okay, so that's my answer. Africa is very good. Why are you explaining that Europeans love it too, RJ? It's not important whether they love it or not. What's important is that we do. Yeah? And the fact of the matter is that, you know, Europe, Africa, all of those countries, America, sorry, yeah, Europe, Canada, how many indigenous people did they kill? How many indigenous lands did they take in order to have the money that they've got? How many people did they enslave? How many countries did they colonize? So they're living off blood money. So don't talk like, you know, you have, you're superior. You're not superior. Yeah, in terms of civilized human conduct, it's inferior. What kind of people do that? What kind of people wholesale do that for hundreds of years? What kind of people do World War I and World War II? What kind of people, you know, go and put atom bomb in Nagasaki? What kind of people are you? I ain't got nothing to prove to you. I've got nothing to say to you. I'm here to talk to my people that want to come back to Africa. Okay, I can't stop anybody from watching this, but what I can say is that this address is, you know, dedicated to and directed to and my people that want to repatriate. If you've got questions about Africa, that's your issue, okay? Because Africa is one of the most beautiful continents on the face of the planet, and everybody knows it. That's why they say the seat of creation and the cradle of creation is Africa, okay? Ayoka said, power concedes nothing without a demand has ever and never will. Okay. I think Larry M. I think they should. I think they should send you to Robben Island. So do you want to learn about Africa? I think they should send you to Robben Island, and I think they should lock you up just like what they did to Mandela, and see how you like it. Okay. So if you want to talk about people should be deported, I think that you should be deported and sent to Robben Island and be locked up. How would you like it? You see, when you talk, yeah, you've got to mind what you say, because when the tables flip and the tables turn, yeah, and ICE come for you, yeah, you wouldn't like it, because you think that you have some kind of authority, but you don't. Europeans have no authority. Your lies don't work on us anymore. You have no superiority, you have no authority, and you have no power over us. How does that make you feel? Slavery days are over, and we're coming for our reparations. So you better start saving your little shekels, your little cents. You better start saving your dollars, okay? Save your dollars, because we're coming for our money, and we will get it by hook or by crook. Okay? Just be aware. So if I was you, I'd stop worrying about where people are going, and you better start saving. That should be your main concern right now, is because we're coming for our reparations. And believe you me, start gripping yourself. Start saving your money. Start saving your money. You're going to need it to pay into the reparations fund. And I would tell all the people out there, tell, you know, the firms that you work for, whatever, listen, save your money, because, you know, reparations time is coming. Okay, reparations time is coming. You need to start putting it out there. Yeah, the same way they use fear for us. Yeah, fear of God, fear of this, fear of that. Now it's time for us to use our own systematic fear. Yeah, fear of the collective African, fear of the collective black people. Okay, fear of us. We are no longer feeling inferior. We are no longer thinking you are superior, and we are no longer happy living in your lands. And we want to come back to Africa, and you're going to pay our way. Simple. Okay. Right, there's a lot of comments. I'm not going to be able to there's a lot of debate today. I'll be here for over 3 hours if I have to go through all of these. Quick pimp. He said, leave us alone, we have guns. And the truth of the matter is that many nations have guns now. Okay, many nations have guns. And in fact, some nations have even secretly developed their own serious defense systems. You know, and I am so proud that we are doing it, because it's high time we started to defend ourselves as African nations. Yeah. So you know what? You're not the only people that can defend yourselves, because now we can too. And this is the thing. So now this is reason why you're going to see what is called white fear. Okay. And white fear is going to equip itself by trying to look like white superiority. It's going to try and look like white courage. It's going to try and look like white threats. But you know what? You know, I've never seen so much just some stupidity coming from some people that call themselves leaders. Yeah, especially, let's just say, you know, some of the things I hear come out of, you know, America. It seriously astonished me that this is your leadership. You want to talk about Africa? Honestly. But anyway, let's get away from this. Big Jonah said they should focus on where their resources are coming from. They're coming from Africa. Okay, when Congo get itself sorted out, I want to see how it's gonna work. When Congo take control, and I mean without Rwanda, without Uganda, with everybody, you know, putting their hands in their pockets and taking out from their resources. Yeah, when the Congo gets itself in order, when we have this, united Africa, I'm telling you things are going to change. Okay? Let me tell you something here. You can talk about you don't want reparations. Okay? I'll just see one of the comments. Let me tell you something here. It is a right. It's not a want. Let me make it very clear. It is a right. Why didn't the Jews say they didn't want reparations? Why did the Japanese say they didn't want reparations? Why did the Indians? Why didn't they say they didn't want reparations? Don't make them fool you. We deserve reparations. We demand reparations. It's our right. It is our right, and we stand on our rights. Because no one else has refused that reparations. Nobody refuses what is owed to you. You take what is owed to you. Okay? By whatever means necessary, you take what is owed to you. Okay? So listen, there's a lot of comments. So all I'm going to say to you is this: reparations is owed to you, okay? The same way that they pay compensations to the people that enslaved our ancestors, the enslavers, they paid them compensation. They did not refuse it. They did not refuse it. So why should we? Why should we? We should not. It's time for us to get angry. Anger is an energy. It is an emotion that you can use to move you to change things. Don't let people say, oh gosh, I should never be angry because it's not a good emotion. Yes, sometimes you should get angry. You should get angry because that's the way you change things, and things need to change. They love the fact that things are staying the same with us. No, we need a revolution. We need a revolution. Things have to change. And reparations needs to change now. And we need to step up, at least 5 gears up. We need to go up at a higher level now. It's high time. We need to have a serious high level strategy, a high level strategy that is deployed and employed in every country by all African people, by all black people globally. High time. Had enough now. Too much nice talking. Time for action. On that, I'll leave you, and I'll see you next week. Same place, same time, 3 o'clock on Blaxit. And don't forget, it's time for us to start demanding reparations. If each of us, I've got a high level strategy that I would like to talk about. This is just the introduction to it, talking about reparations this week, that I would like to share. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it publicly, but there is a high level strategy that I have created, that I want to disseminate because it's high time. Okay? Got some high time. Okay? And let me tell you something, right? You think reparations is a joke? You'll be laughing on the other side of your face. If and when, no, not if, when, let me make it very clear. When the tables start turning, you'll be smiling on the other side of your face. Yeah, the people that are sitting there thinking I'm joking, I see your comments. Yeah, and I'm not responding to them because you know why? We don't have to respond to you anymore. We have choice. We can ignore you. It's simple. Bye-bye, you're irrelevant. You have no relevance. You have no importance anymore. How do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel the same inconsequence that you try to make us feel? Do you feel as small as you try to make us feel? Well, guess what? Shoes on the other foot. Things are changing. There's a revolution at foot, and you are going to see the consequences of that, because my ancestors are not sleeping. Your ancestors are not sleeping. Okay? We have broken those intergenerational curses, and we are coming back to avenge our ancestors, whether you like it or not. We're coming back to Africa. Okay? Out of your grasp, out of your reach, out of your control. By Blaxit Family.